Welcome back to College Compass by experts at scholarship.org. I'm Leslie Cornwell.
And I am Dina Bazoo. So, Leslie, I have a question for you. Have you ever watched Bridgerton?
No, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's one of those shows that when you watch it, it keeps you wanting more.
Okay, I'm going to add it to my list. In our last episode, you heard Snow Scholar Sofia Vega share what it was like stepping onto the set of Stranger Things during the filming of the final season. But for Sofia, that once-in-a-lifetime experience was just the beginning.
Today, we're continuing our conversation to explore how her college journey opened up doors beyond the screen, leading her to connect with major industry names like Sydney Sweeney, Mark Hamill, and even Queen Charlotte from Bridgerton. We'll talk more about what those moments taught her, how networking really works in the creative world, and what aspiring actors can learn from her path so far. All right. Welcome back, Sophia. Thank you for sticking with us. So, last October, you got to present the amazing Sydney Sweeney an award. So, tell us about this moment. How was it like meeting her? What is she like?
She's great. She's really tiny. I thought she was my height. She's like 5 feet tall.
Oh my God, that's so
Yeah,
surprising.
she's really tiny, which I was really surprised about too. But I remember, so they announce Film Fest, right? Every year, like they announce it in September, and it's a huge thing at SCAD. That's like the biggest, probably the biggest week, if not TV Fest, but Film Fest surpasses it for sure. There's like 100,000 people fly into Savannah as well, just for Film Fest, a lot of alum. And usually they pick like a lot of their known students or like students they really like and they trust to present all these stars. And I remember when I was in Atlanta, they had picked me my sophomore and junior year to present Entertainment Weekly Awards. So I got to, for example, back in sophomore year was Maddie Ziegler,
Mm-hmm.
and junior year it was like the guy from the Monsters Netflix show that was super viral. And then this year, I remember when they emailed me, and I know the guy who writes all the speeches, he was actually my professor and the director of the play that I was doing in the fall quarter. And he like pulled me aside and he was like, "You're presenting Sydney Sweeney." And I was like, "What?" And I remember I called my ex-boyfriend and his friends because they were soccer players, and I was like, "Guess who I'm presenting?" Presenting Sydney Sweeney. And it was
That's a
just really,
flex.
yeah. And it was just really cool. I got to talk to her for like 30 minutes backstage. So they actually style you for the whole thing, and you have to train your speech, of course. And then you get to meet the star 30 minutes beforehand before you go on stage, and you get to talk to them like one-on-one. It was really cool. She was really nice. She was really, really nice. And she was like, I was like super starstruck and intimidated at first to talk to her, but she was so friendly. And I remember when we went to go on stage, it was like 5 minutes until showtime. She was like telling me how she had the huge stage fright because she saw how many people were in the Lucas Theater, and it was a lot of people. That is a huge theater. So she was like, "Oh my gosh, I thought this was gonna be like a little auditorium." She was like, I was gonna receive the in like a school auditorium or something." And I'm like, "No, this is the Lucas." And she was like, "Ah," and I was like, "You're gonna do great. They all love you." And I
Oh.
remember when I said her name, everybody like erupted in crazy cheer. And then she was like, "Hi," and then I gave her her award, and I was like, "I told you they all love you," and it was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's great that you get these benefits, these opportunities for attending SCAD. So there's Film Fest and then there's TV Fest, and I'm assuming it's the same type of deal, but it celebrates the TV industry.
Yes, TV Fest is a little bit of actually much of a lower scale, just because like Film Fest is usually a week long, and they show all these films that are probably gonna go on and win the Oscar I mean, the year before, I literally got a picture with Mikey Madison.
Oh my
And
God, that's so
yeah,
cool.
and because I saw Nora, and all of the acting students get master classes with them privately.
Wow.
So we got a master class with Mark Hamill, and we got a master class with Mikey Madison. And I remember, and she was like not really known back then. She was really cool. She was so humble and like soft spoken. She was awesome. And we get master classes with them, and Film Fest is just like a bunch of films. Like this year it was Frankenstein
Ah,
and Begonia because they're on their festival run. So that's where they bring all the stars. This year they brought Mark Hamill and Oscar Isaac. We got to meet Oscar Isaac. That was really cool.
what
Yeah.
a cool opportunity to have. I mean, it's one thing that you love the program that you're in, but that's really amazing that you get that exposure to the opportunity, the people, just the whole thing. I mean, what a great motivator, to want to keep doing this, to be
Oh
part of
yeah,
this.
100%. I mean,
Right.
it goes back to like the question you asked me about why I chose SCAD. This is one, I don't think any school has this. And I just got an audition to be in Glenn Powell's movie because they're filming here. Yeah, they're filming here in Savannah
Oh my
next in
gosh.
April. So I just auditioned last Friday. And I'm like, again, I don't see any school doing this other than probably USC or NYU, but I've never really heard about that?
That is so cool. She says it
That's
so calmly.
huge,
I auditioned for a
right?
Glenn Powell movie. Like that, yeah, okay.
Well, the thing is, we kind of get desensitized here because like all these things happen. I mean, Leslie Odom Jr. taught a class
Oh my
last spring.
gosh.
What?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Like he was the Professor Leslie Odom Jr. and me and a
That's
couple of people
incredible.
got picked to go sing in front of him next week. So,
Oh my God,
yeah,
that is beautiful. Where are you guys singing?
it's in the Lucas Theater because he's doing like a master class with Mark Shaman.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, and
That
so they picked a bunch of us to like go perform You Can't Stop the Beat from Hairspray. So it was cool.
Sophia, that's so cool. Wait, can you sing some of the song?
Um,
spoiler, spoiler.
I don't know.
I don't want to put you on the
You
spot.
can't stop the beat. I don't know if I want this to be on the podcast.
That's okay. She's like, wait, I
That
didn't know this was an audition
One day I'll
tape.
send you a full performance
Yes.
and it will be
Yes.
great.
That'd be awesome.
That's amazing. I wish we could go and be there. Maybe one of these days. So
Come next year to Film Fest. Go to Film Fest. You'll love it.
oh, that's
If we
amazing.
could. If we could.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can't just say, I want to go to Film Fest.
Right. But it's great that you get to meet these amazing people like Leslie Odom Jr., Sydney Sweeney, and I've also heard you met the Queen from the Queen
Bridgerton.
Charlotte from Bridgerton. That is
Yeah.
amazing. You get to meet all these stars, all these amazing people. Who is like your favorite person that you have met so far, or favorite celebrity?
Um, oh, that's such a hard one. I don't know if I have a favorite, but I have like the most impactful master classes.
Mm. Could
That's
you
also
tell us
hard.
about that?
Yeah. Oscar Isaac had one of the best master classes. And so did Queen Charlotte actually. Queen Charlotte and
So you
Lady
had a
Danbury.
master class with Queen Charlotte.
Yes, and Lady Danbury. Um that was last week. So that was a recent one. It's definitely still in my mind. It was great. It was she's like a queen, like outside of her character. I swear her aura is just insane. She holds so much power.
I would imagine that I think you've probably already answered my question of your favorite moments from these events, or it sounds to me like it's not so much the event as it is the opportunity that comes with it to have these one-on-one times, because that's such a
Yeah.
learning opportunity for you.
Yeah, that I would definitely say it's the learning opportunities. I don't even like go for like the red carpet anymore or anything like that. Just because like we get the master classes and that's the insight. That's where like the real magic happens. And I love learning. I've always loved school. I've always just loved learning. So it's just so cool to hear it from different people. And like I had like one of those aha moments in TV Fest. Like every time that I just listen and I'm like, wow, that really resonates with me. Especially during the
Beautiful.
Queen Charlotte and Lady Danbury masterclass. That was a really cool one.
Is there something that, you've learned that you would like to share, or an advice that you could share with, fellow film majors or people who are um, thinking of going into the production?
Yeah, actually falling in love with the process is my advice because it took me a while to get there. You often don't see results for a long, long time. And like I was saying with Mikey Madison, she went through a period of no's for 3 years. And like you see that in retrospect and you're like, oh, it's just 3 years, but that's 3 years. And like when I see it, 3 years ago, I was a freshman in high school. I mean, freshman in college. And it's just like life has changed so much since then. So you just gotta really, really fall in love with the process and discover everything. Fall in love with the creativity part of it because the result part of it will disappoint you and it will burn you out if that's the only thing you're chasing, which has been a lesson that has taken me 4 years to learn. So,
Well, I would think that
yeah,
that's a really hugely important lesson, though, for your own personal well-being, I would
And
yeah.
for
think.
life in general,
And for life,
right?
that's a great point, and for life in general.
I think it comes with maturing too.
Yes.
Like back when I was a 19-year-old freshman, that would have never crossed my mind, I think.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, I've lived.
And that, I mean, and that is the beauty of life, though, because every experience, bad or good, teaches us something, leaves us with something, and what we take from it, informs, what the path is next. And so every experience, I feel, changes your path, based on your experience. So it is interesting for you to look back and go, yeah, I would have never had this perspective as a freshman.
Life has taught me a lot in the last 4. So
But here you
definitely
are,
different.
and you have this love for this, this whole craft and this world of acting, and yet you had you made this decision that you also wanted to study advertising. It's interesting to me, did you make this decision back at the very beginning? Did you make this decision later? And we have spoken earlier about why you would have done that, but was that informed based on, what you were seeing as possible problems in, going into acting or?
Yeah. So actually, I started out as a film major in Atlanta because the acting major wasn't offered yet in Atlanta. So I started as a film major, acting minor. And then I quickly realized I was like, I am not meant to be behind the camera. I do not understand anything. Like, I was like, producing is a nightmare. It's so much paperwork. And I was like, I love directing though, but that's because I love performing. So you
Right.
understand an actor's brain, right? So I was like, quickly, no. I was like, I can't be a film major. So finally, the acting major got offered and I switched to acting. But I took a lot of foundation classes in my freshman year and it was a lot of design. My mom's a graphic designer. So I've always like grown up with knowing how to do Photoshop. I remember I was like 8 years old and I knew how to do Photoshop. So I've just always been really good with graphic design and digital design and I just have like an art director brain. I can just I don't know. It's just a skill and I was like kind of weirdly good at this. So my mom was like, "Well, you should just consider pursuing that as well. Just have a plan B, of course." And I was like, "Yeah, I like it a lot." So I became a double major in my sophomore year and at the end of my freshman year, I actually got my first marketing internship, which was only supposed to be over the summer, but it turned into a 2-year job. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, it was great because it was like, this was the first time I was like getting paid for something outside of like, being a barista or a server in high school, right? So this was like the first like career paying job. And they kept me for a long time. And then back last November, they saw one of my audition tapes and they were like, "You're really natural in front of the camera." Made me a content creator. I blew up on that, and then the competitor, Study Fetch, hired me on in April because they offered me like a lot more money. So then I've been working for Study Fetch since, and it's like now it's like I'm fully not on the marketing team. It's like more just on the content creator side now. So I'm hoping to also like evolve that on my own, maybe branch outside of Study Fetch at some point because it's cool to just grow it on my own brand. You know?
Absolutely.
Right. That's
Yeah.
that is pretty cool. So like you get all these opportunities, and now that you're saying you started doing this, like a little bit younger, and now that you're majoring in, you're studying marketing, how has that helped you, with your own personal branding now that you're thinking about, branching out? How has, marketing skills help you with your own personal branding or social media, or even how to pitch yourself in auditions or when you're meeting with all of these casting directors?
Yeah. Well, actually, like, it's so crazy to me that some people don't know how to brand themselves because you are your brand, right? Like, you are wherever you present yourself, wherever you go, you're presenting yourself as a skill set and like as a person. So, like, when people just show up like in sweatpants to like master classes, that doesn't make any sense to me because I go in my suits and I have my colorful suits. I have like one for every day of Film Fest that I've accumulated from the scholarship closet that I've stole from there. And everybody's like always like, "You look so nice." And I'm like, "Thank you." Like I got it in the George Snow scholarship closet.
Love it.
And they're like the best suits too. They're like Anne Klein, like pink suits, and I'm like, this
I
is
remember the
awesome.
pink suit. That was
Yes,
awesome. That was awesome.
exactly. There you go. So I wore that to the TV Fest. I remember
Very
got
impressive.
commented on by one of the stars. But back to the branding, it's just really important to know like what you stand for, who you are, and like especially in acting, you need to know, and this is something I learned this year too, like you need to know what roles you would get cast in. I don't think right off the bat I would get cast in a horror role right now, like in the industry, really, or like I don't think I would be playing a drug addict because I don't look like it and I'm not that type of actor. There's people that like can act that way, but my brand is more like, oh, I would get cast as the compassionate nurse in Grey's Anatomy or a police officer for Law and Order or the girl next door for like a Netflix rom-com. So it's just really important to know your how people perceive you as well.
It is good that you're able to differentiate, like, these are the roles that I want or I can be in, or and these are the roles that I would not want to be cast in. How do you come to create your own personal branding in that way?
A lot of it is actually done for you in acting because you won't get called for the roles that you don't look the part for. Like I don't know if I wouldn't get called for a blonde part, you know what I mean? So it's the casting directors do a lot of the work for you and you slowly start to learn and be have a lot of discernment. But I did take a course, it's called Branding for the Actor, and you learn like what are your four entry points to the industry, like what for could you get cast in early on, and then you can diversify, once you're established enough. But like for example, Sydney Sweeney, she gets cast in like a certain type of role
Right.
throughout movies
Right.
until she produced Christy, the movie where she plays a boxer, but that was because she produced it, not
Right.
because she cast in it.
Right. That's a
Yeah.
really good point. I mean, that's so true. Um, I think that's a really important factor for someone to learn, and not just about acting, but in anything. It's like you're interviewing for a job and people are submitting resumes that, have you scratching your head going, did they not look at the job description? Because you have to have this, and this person isn't even remotely. And that's the same lesson that you're talking about, is that which is beautiful that you've taken this in and are applying it to your life, because you want to be successful and you want to give yourself the best chance for a role. So you want to put yourself and your energy into something that you have a chance at versus they're looking for a blonde who has one eye. I mean, if it's not going to fit you, then why are you going to put your energy towards that kind of thing? So that's really smart. If somebody came to you and they're saying, I really want to just be able to put all my efforts into this, but I feel guilty because I feel like I need to have a plan B, how would you advise them?
Ooh, that's always been a hard one for me because I do have a plan B, but my professor asked me the same thing because she's my advertising professor asked me the same thing the other day, and she's like, "So, do you want to be in advertising?" And I was like, "No." I was like, because she's like, "You're really good at it," and I'm like, "I know, and I appreciate it, but I mean, I'm really thankful for it, of course, because I think it's gonna be the thing that makes me money until I make my dreams come true and I can do acting for a living. But a plan B is always smart to have, as long as it doesn't get in the way with plan A, I would say. It wouldn't make sense if I was studying medicine and then I wanted to be an actor, because studying medicine would take priority, right?
Good
So
point.
advertising doesn't take priority because I've found, for example, content creation, which I can do from anywhere at any time, doesn't take as much time
Right.
to do it. But when Study Fetch did offer me the full-time job, one of the things that crossed my mind was like, do I want the full-time job? Because then I would be working 10 to 6, and then I would be exhausted by the time I get home and not be able to go to auditions.
Right.
So it is one of the things that I'm actively always balancing and looking. So just as long as it doesn't get in the way of plan A, I would say is a good rule of thumb to have.
And it looks like you found, you're finding your way. And we've talked a little bit earlier about you're moving to LA after you graduate. What would you say success now, after all your experiences, what would you say success look like for you, say, in the next 2 to 3 years?
I think that because time is warped here at SCAD, so much happens in a quarter of 10 weeks. I mean, I literally can't even believe that even just last week I was in Atlanta. It feels like months ago for TV Fest. But I always kind of measure my success if I'm like, did I move one step forward? Am I in a worse place than I was last year or a better place? And so, because success has now become tricky, right? I think like I said, I used to see it a different way when I was a freshman. Now I see it a different way. I want to find peace with myself and feeling good at what I do. And I definitely want to be happy doing what I do. I think that if I was miserable in a job, I would not consider myself successful, even if I'm making a lot of money. But then again, if I'm broke and always stressed about bills, I don't think I would be success just because of my state of mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that my goal now as a 22-year-old is trying to like find a healthy state of mind and just be okay, you know. That is like right now is the goal.
That is beautiful, and that is a very mature
Yes, it
you
is.
know, view on success, because yes, it's not, it's not flashy, all these flashy things, but really being at peace with yourself, finding stability and doing great at what you do and putting all your energy into that. That is beautiful.
I agree. I agree. I love the whole definition and the value that you attach to that. I think that's extremely healthy and is going to really serve you well.
I think your freshman yourself would be so proud of you.
So proud of you.
No.
That was such a great point, Dina.
That makes me good.
I think that
makes me feel
is
good. Thank you.
so true. I think that she would be very proud. We're very proud of all of you, 19, 20, 21, 22, and beyond. And We just want to say thank you. We've had 2 amazing conversations with you, and we really appreciate you taking out the time in your busy day. And we are going to be watching you from afar, and we're always cheering you on.
Of course. Thank you guys. I mean, I wouldn't be here without you guys, right? So, yeah. No,
Thank
for
you.
real.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sophia. Thank you for listening to College Compass by the experts at scholarship.org. We will be back in 2 weeks with a new episode.
In the meantime, we would love to hear from you. What did you think about the advice that Sophia shared? And more importantly, what questions are you wrestling with in your own college journey right now? Send us your questions and topics, ideas. Let's figure this out together. You can learn more or reach out to us anytime at scholarship.org/podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, which I'm sure you did, be sure to subscribe, rate, review, or share it with others. New episodes drop every other Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok under the George Snow Scholarship Fund. We'll see you next time.